guys, we are going to discuss another important topic. Here look into this landforms. Okay, landform, it is the most effective chapter and interesting. There are many questions they did ask in the previous exams. Okay, based on that I did make a PPT and I am gonna explain the topic. Okay, yep. Landforms, how the landforms formed. Okay, in the geography point of view, the landform, there is a different features of lands. Okay, overall earth. If come to the India, there are different features like Himalayas, plains and plateaus and desert, okay, islands. Okay, overall globe, overall earth, there is a latitudinal gradient. Each latitude different features of landforms. Okay, how it is formed? This is the question we are practicing. Okay, yep. Geomorphic process, how the earth, the surface formed. Okay, yeah, earth surface is shaped by the two forces. Of course, there are forces created the earth shape, earth crust shape. There are certain forces, that is external forces and internal forces. Okay, what are the exogenic and endogenic forces? External mean exogenic, genic mean to form. Okay, endogenic mean internal formation. Okay, what is the impact of that forces to become made a land? Okay, yep. Earth surface is shaped by endogenic internal, exogenic external forces. Okay, endogenic forces mainly it is due to the radioactive heat and pressure, mainly the heat and pressure going to create inside the earth. Okay, yep. And diastropism, what is diastropism? They might ask you this word, diastropism, what is that? Okay, it is causes a large scale landform changes. Okay, causes a large scale landform changes that has to be folding, faulting, uplift and subsidence. These are the changes took place by the endogenic forces. Okay, large scale changes, guys. Okay, yeah. If come to the volcanism, what is volcanism? They can ask you what is a diastropism, what is volcanism? Volcanism nothing but it is the bring the molten material, gases and new land forms. How it is formed? Okay, we are going to discuss endogenic forces. Exogenic forces. Next, exogenic forces. It is operate on surface. It is operate on surface only. Endogenic mean inside the earth. Okay, yeah. Mainly due to the atmosphere, hydrosphere and biosphere. Exogenic forces created by three forms, mainly atmosphere, hydrosphere and biosphere. We are going to discuss. Okay, yeah. That is atmosphere, biosphere, running water, glaciers, wind, waves and groundwater. Okay, the process mainly weathering and erosion and transportation. Weathering, erosion and transportation, the process of exogenic forces. So, shall we discuss endogenic forces? Yep. Okay, yeah. Endogenic forces, first what they said, mainly inside the earth. Okay, inside the earth. Endogenic mean inside the earth. Okay, this is assume this is earth inside. Three areas are there inside the earth. Okay, yeah, 1 minute. Inside the earth, Okay, core area, mantle area, upper mantle area. This is upper mantle area. Okay, and later this is earth crust. Guys, they can ask you the inside the earth what happened, inside the earth what happened. This is core of the earth. Okay, core mainly the metals are nickel and iron. They can ask you, inside the earth there is a core area, mainly the minerals are iron and nickel. Okay, this is important. Okay, Nife, N-I-F-E. Okay, mantle, if come to the mantle. Okay, mantle, this is the lower mantle, and this is upper mantle. Lower mantle and upper mantle. Okay, finally this is crust, earth crust. Earth crust. Finally it is earth crust. Okay, upper mantle and earth crust together we can call lithosphere. Upper mantle and earth crust together we can call lithosphere. Guys, they might ask you, they did ask previously, upper mantle and crust together we can call lithosphere. Okay, yes. So lithosphere mainly aluminum, metals are aluminum and silica. Aluminum and silica, AlSi. Lithosphere mainly the minerals are Al and Si, silica and aluminum. Okay, lithosphere. Core is nickel and iron. Core is mainly nickel and iron. Okay, core area mainly it is 25,000 degrees Celsius, guys. 25,000 degrees Celsius. So mainly molten stage, mainly molten stage. Mainly molten stage. In this way, there is a lower mantle also molten stage. Molten is what? Okay, inside the earth mainly the radioactive heat and pressure. Radioactive heat and pressure. Heat created 25,000 degrees Celsius in the core area. Okay, yeah, of course it is decreased into the heat in the lower mantle. Okay, so here diatropism is what? Large scale of land changes by folding, faulting and uplift and subsidence. That is different. Volcanism is what? We are going to explain here volcanism. Okay, molten material or gases to form a new landform. Okay, yeah. If it is high temperature, the molten magma, they went through the earth surface area, that is called the vent area, they can create here new landform. They can create here on the earth surface new landform like this, any landform, that is mainly plateaus, plateaus they created, guys. Okay. So volcanism brings molten material, gases to new landforms. Okay. Yeah, diatropism is what? These are the endogenic forces. Endogenic mean inside the earth what happened, okay. Due to radioactive heat and pressure created a large scale landform changes, folding, faulting and subsidence. Folding is what? Faulting is what? Okay. Folding created where? Faulting created is where? Okay. Faulting mean there is a landslides or move away or move inside. Okay. Landslide, this is the two landslides. Okay. Move away or move together. Okay. That is actually here just changes folding, that is faulting. Okay. Uplift or subsidence we are going to discuss. Okay. This is the earth crust, guys, earth crust. Okay. There is mainly this landslides. Okay. Mainly this uplift, faulting and folding subsidence, this folding, faulting, uplift and subsidence took place where? On the earth crust. Earth crust mainly it is about 35 kilometers, guys, 35 kilometers. Earth crust is 35 kilometers. Okay. This folding, faulting, okay, this subsidence all together took place on the earth crust. The area up to the 35 kilometers, in depth, 35 kilometers in depth. Just look into here. Okay. This is earth crust, this is one plate of earth crust. Okay. The plates, just look into here. This is one plate, this is second plate, third plate, fourth plate, fifth plate, sixth plate. Okay. These are the plates on the earth crust. Okay. The plates, if they, of course, I am going to explain here, just careful. This is one plate of the earth crust. Okay. This is another plate of the earth crust. These plates, by the forces, by the radioactive heat pressure, if the forces, these plates together to come to form, that is folding, Himalayas are developed by the process of folding. Okay. Together the plates, tectonic plates, these we call tectonic plates. Tectonic plates, if they together to form folding, the tectonic plates on the earth surface, these plates, tectonic plates, okay, by the radioactive heat and pressure created these plates, they can together to form together or they can move away. If they are together, that is called folding. That is called folding. Example are Himalayas. Example are Himalayas. Okay, folding, folded the landforms, folded landforms created by plate tectonic activity, the convergent movement, okay, convergent movement, okay, we can call the folding mountains, convergent movement, they can make the folding mountain. Himalayas are the young folded mountain, they mainly form due to the plate tectonic activity, that is convergent movement of earth surface up to the 35 kilometers, okay, together, the plates together to form. And what about this faulting? Faulting is what? Okay, faulting mean if any plate, this plate, okay, and another plate, this plate, they move away, mean the plate tectonic activity, this is also plate tectonic activity, plate tectonic activity, that is divergent activity, divergent activity. In this divergent activity, they can create fault, they can create faulting. Faulting example is what? Tsunami. If there any plate tectonic activity created in the oceans, that created a tsunami. If on the earth there is a landslides, okay, the earthquake, mainly earthquake guys, mainly earthquake, okay, yeah, earthquake. Okay, and uplift and subsidence, okay, uplift mean guys, if any this is the one plate and there is a another plate, if it is enter like this, transformation, okay, transform, okay, plate tectonic activity called transform. That is about upliftment or subsidence, okay. These are the endogenic forces, they created the earth surface, they can create the earth surface, that is the earth surface we can call landform, that is the earth crust. Landforms, how they form? By the endogenic forces or exogenic forces. Endogenic forces mainly plate tectonic activity that created by a radioactive movement of heat and pressure, okay, temperature and pressure, okay. This is the earth, okay, the core area, okay, that is mantle area, okay, and earth crust area, okay. Mantle and earth crust we can call lithosphere, okay. Mainly lithosphere can affect by the volcanic activity, and if come to the earth crust mainly the attachment of plates, I did teach in the first class geography the features of the geography of mainlands, the first class I did made guys. If you don't listen, If you did not listen, you can go through that. Okay, you may understand the what is earth crust plate tectonic activity created a landforms. Okay, yep. And if come to the exogenic forces, okay, exogenic forces normally they can actually, it is not irrespective of the earth surface. Okay, it is about environment, it is about environment, exogenic forces. Okay, that is environment, either atmosphere, hydrosphere and biosphere. Of course, atmosphere nothing but it is the air, okay, different mixture of air, okay, and pressure, okay, and pressure, air pressure created a earth surface. Of course, we are going to discuss earth surface created by atmospheric air. Okay, hydrosphere mean it is the water bodies on the earth. Okay, 71% of water is there on the earth. Okay, 71% water is there mean they can decide the landform of the earth. Of course, obviously. Biosphere nothing but the living things, either animals or plants, mainly plants. Okay, plants created a landform different shape. Okay, of course, you have to understand this exogenic forces, endogenic forces. Endogenic forces mainly volcanism and landforms, folding, faulting and subsidence. And if come to the exogenic forces, atmosphere, biosphere and this is like hydrosphere. Okay, together they can create a landforms on the earth, either hilly areas or plains or plateaus, islands and deserts. All over the earth relief landforms are mainly due to these two forces, exogenic and endogenic. I hope you guys understand this. Okay, exogenic and endogenic. Yeah, it is actually next weathering. Weathering is what? Okay, yeah, it is the mechanical and chemical and biological disintegration of rocks without displacement. Okay, yeah, of course, if any rock is there, if it is huge rock, okay, that can be changes by mechanical, chemical or biological, okay, without displacement. Okay, yeah, that is weathering. Weathering mean it is the actually the earth surface created. Okay, mechanical weathering. Okay, yeah, forced action and salt crystal growth, thermal expansion. Okay, yeah, chemical weathering, oxidation, yeah, carbonation, hydration, hydrolysis and solution. Example, topography, the limestone caves. Okay, yeah, we are going to discuss, guys. They can ask you which one of the following is the physical weathering, which one of the following action is chemical weathering. They can ask you. Chemical weathering is oxidation, okay, and carbonation, hydration and hydrolysis. That is chemical weathering. And physical, mechanical weathering is the force action, salt crystal growth, thermal expansion. Okay, yeah, these are the physical. And biological weathering, roots of plants, animals and lichens, human activity. Okay, these are the weathering types, guys. Weathering types. What is weather? To form a soil, on earth surface. Okay, that is called weathering. Okay, yep. This is the weathering areas, guys, how they form. Okay, there is a like atmosphere created a this kind of landform. Okay, yeah, mass wasting mean movement of landform, Okay, how it is movement landform? Okay, yeah, it is downslope of movement of rock or debris under gravity. Types of wasting. Okay, it is rapid or slow. If it is rapid, landslides, rock falls and avalanche. Okay, yeah, mass weathering actually. Okay, slow process, soil creep and solifluction. Okay, solifluction. Guys, these are the types of the mass wasting, mean mass movement of earth surface. Okay, yeah, that is also guys one of the features of the landforms. Steep slope, earthquakes, rainfall and deforestation is the reason for this mass movement of earth crust. Okay, previously they did ask the question, many exams, UPSC, CDS and state public service exams, they did ask about mass wasting. Okay, what they ask, the landslides are common in Himalayas due to landslides are common in the Himalayas, mean there are actually landslide took place, most of the people like lost their lives, like that questions actually it is impact the people, that's why they can ask you guys. Okay, landslides are common in Himalayas due to, that is previous year UPSC question, SSC question, CDS and public service, state public service questions guys. Steep slope and heavy rainfall, seismic activity, deforestation, these are the reason why the landslides took place in the region Himalayas. Okay, this is important, they did ask previously, they can ask you in coming exam guys. Okay, yeah, steep slope, earthquake, rainfall and deforestation is the reason for downslope movement of earth crust, that either rock or debris under gravitational forces. Okay, yeah, that is landslide. Okay, rock fall, this is the fast guys, landslide immediately they can affect, rock falls also immediately, and avalanche also very dangerous. Okay, immediately they can take place. Soil creep and solidification is very slow process. How it is like steep slope, earthquake, rainfall and deforestation. Okay, because of that the landslides took place. The landslides are common in Himalayas due to, this is important, steep slopes, Himalayas mainly steep slopes, heavy rainfalls took place Himalayas mostly, and seismic activity, there is a earthquake is mainly took place in Himalayas because of there is a mostly deforestation. Okay, yeah, this is guys, this is avalanche. Okay, avalanche, it is the snow guys, snow they can easily come. This is landslide. Okay, avalanche, landslide mainly Himalayas because of deforestation, steep slope and rainfall, huge rainfall. Okay, yes, and erosion, landforms by different agent. Okay, erosion is also one of the reason for making different landforms. Okay, yeah, erosion is one of the reason for making different landforms. Running water, mainly rivers. Okay, rivers if the youth stage, mean rivers origin places mainly erosional landforms took place. V-shaped valleys and gorges, okay, and waterfalls, this is also created a different landforms. Mature stage of the river, okay, after a long time course, okay, there is a erosion and deposition took place. Erosion and deposition took place after a long time journey of the river. Okay, they can create meanders, oxbow lakes and floodplains and natural levels. Okay, yeah, guys, erosion is the one of the reason for making landform. Erosion also one of the reason for making landform. That is the especially rivers. Rivers they can actually young stage mean first starting stage of the river, starting area, they can create V-shaped valleys, gorges, okay, waterfalls, and mature after went somewhere, okay, after long course, okay, they can create erosion and deposition and meanders, oxbow lakes and floodplains. okay, floodplains, sorry, natural levees. Guys, think that this is youth stage where Himalayas, okay, rivers origin, right, origin place, Himalayas, okay. If the Himalayas origin place, they can create V-shaped valleys and gorges, Himalayas, okay, and waterfalls also. After a long course, they journey into the like Himachal Pradesh or they can UP, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Assam, okay, they can reach, right. In that area, they can create a erosion and deposition also, plains, mainly erosion and deposition, erosion plus deposition, mean alluvial soil deposited, alluvial soil, okay, alluvial soil deposited, mainly the plain area, guys, mainly the plain area, okay. The old age, they can create deposition mainly delta, Sundarban delta, okay. Sundarban delta is the like the largest delta in the world, okay. UPSC previously question they did ask, okay, that is oxbow lakes are formed by, how? Meandering rivers and floodplains, oxbow lake formed by meandering rivers and floodplains, okay. Yep. These V-shaped valleys, young rivers, okay, okay. This is the actually gorgeous V-shaped valleys and gorges, guys, that can be created in the Himalayas, they can create it, guys, okay. Yeah, this is one of the landform, okay. Landform is created by erosion, glaciers, okay. Glaciers also reason to create some different kind of landforms, okay. Yeah, erosional landforms, cirque, horns and eteras, U-shaped valleys. They can ask you what is V-shaped valleys. The erosion of rivers, running of rivers created erosion, okay, V-shaped, okay, running of rivers created V-shaped valleys, okay. Yeah, and glaciers create U-shaped valleys, sorry, okay, V-shaped valleys and U-shaped valleys, okay. Yeah, the glaciers, they can create U-shaped valleys, okay. Yeah, the rivers, they can create V-shaped valleys. This is a difference between the rivers and the glaciers. Depositional landforms, especially moraines, the lateral it is terminal, okay. And previously UPSC question, jots formed by submerged glacial valleys, okay. This is previous question, guys. The landform glaciers you have to be remember, guys, okay. Yeah, wind also external forces, okay, external factors to create a different landform. Wind also, they can create a different landform as external forces. Of course, this is atmosphere, okay. Yeah, found in arid and desert area, found in arid and desert area. This is the wind also create erosional landforms, erosional landform, that is mushroom racks, yagats and deflation, okay, and hollows, okay. They can create a different landforms in the desert, erosional landforms, okay. Wind also created erosion landforms where in the desert area, okay. Desert area, wind can change the topography of the land, okay. They don't change water bodies, right, okay. Water surface, they can actually friction with the water, the wind, okay. They don't affect the features, okay. And if come to the desert, desert also actually this is the plain area, that is the air is created more frictional forces on the surface of the desert, okay, that create a mushroom racks, okay, and these deflations and hollows, okay. Depositional landform also created in the like desert by the wind, that is sand dunes. Sand dunes, what are the sand dunes? They can ask you, guys. This is the mushroom rack, okay, mushroom rack, okay. The air wind cut this rock, okay. They forcefully enter into the rock, sand rack, okay. They can created a friction, that is create a mushroom rack in the desert, guys, okay. Wind also create a landforms, wind also create a landform in the desert, okay. That is erosional landforms and depositional landform. They can ask you which one of the following is erosional landform. They can ask you which one of the following is depositional landform by wind, okay. They can ask you any form, okay. Previous year SSC question and UPSC question, they can ask you fine silt is deposited by, fine silt is deposition by, they can ask, they did ask in the previous year question, okay, by fertile, yep, yeah. Just look into here, these are the landforms created by air, okay, wind, created by a wind in the earth, okay, mushroom and jagun and yeah, this is yardang, okay. Guys, these are the shapes and words. They can ask you, guys, these names, okay. Yeah, they can ask you in the exam these names, guys, okay. Yep. And groundwater also created a landform, okay. Groundwater also, how, okay. The forcefully the groundwater, that is karst topography, this is the where the ocean coastal areas, okay. Limestone regions, erosional and depositional, this is also created by erosional and depositional landforms, erosional and depositional landform. Sinkholes, swallows, holes and caves and lapis, mainly caves, Borra caves. You actually experience about Borra caves. Borra caves mainly created by groundwater, okay. Yeah, and depositional steel tight a downform ceiling, and this is, okay, guys. They did ask previously UPSC and SSC question. Karst landforms are formed by chemical weathering of limestone, chemical weathering of limestone. This is the groundwater changes the earth landforms, guys, okay. Groundwater also changes the earth landforms, okay. Yeah, coastal processes also they can change the landform, that is sea waves, currents and tides, sea waves, current and tides. The erosional landforms and depositional landforms also they made by coastal processes, sea waves or currents or tides, okay. There are sea winds are three types, waves, okay, waves, currents and tides. Waves is different, current is different. Current is the air forces surface of the water is current. Okay, yeah. Sea waves, the tides are very less, wave is very huge. Okay, the movement of water is a small movement of water is tide, large movement of water is wave. Okay, wave in touch, like this is the large movement of the water is wave. Okay, short movement of water is tide. And if come to the current, there is a air forces on the surface of the water is current, either hot current or cold current on the earth surface based on the regional. Okay, based on the region. Okay, guys, this is the coastal processes like waves, currents and tides also created a landforms, either erosional landform or depositional landform. Okay, erosional landform, sea cliffs, they can ask you which one of the following is erosional landform. They can ask you which one of the following is depositional landform by sea coastal area. Okay, that is wave cut also erosional landform. Cut mean erosion, right? Yeah. And sea caves also erosional landform. Sea arches and stakes, these are the erosional landforms. And depositional landform, beaches is which one of the following is depositional landform. They can ask you the arches, stakes and sea cliffs and beaches. Beaches is the depositional landform. And spits, bars, lagoons, this is important. Lagoons also tombolos. Okay, these are the depositional landform. Previous they did ask UPSC prelims 2014, Tombolo is a sand isthmus connecting an island to the mainland. Connecting island to the mainland, that is the isthmus. Okay, isthmus. Guys, isthmus is, there is separated a water body of two mainlands. Okay, there is a narrow stretch of the water body. Okay, that is the water body connected by very narrow stretch of the landform, that is isthmus. Okay, there where the Latin America is connected to the Central America, the American continent. Okay, there is a space of the Panama, Mexico border, Panama is the landform. Okay, that is isthmus. Okay, yeah. I hope you guys understand the coastal process, especially sea waves, current waves and tides. They can create a landform, erosional landform or a depositional landform. Erosional landform is sea cliffs, sea cut, wave cut and sea caves, arches and stakes. And if come to the depositional landform, beaches, spits, bars, lagoons and tombolos. Previous year question, tombolo is that is a sand or a land of isthmus connecting an island to mainland. The island which is connected to the mainland by a narrow stretch of the land mass called isthmus. Okay, that is one of the landform of the coastal processes, guys. Okay, yeah. Just look into here, sea cliff. Okay, sea cliff and sea wave cut platforms. See wave cut platform, this is wave cut platform, this is cliff, see cliffs. Okay, yeah. This is about the coastal landform formation. Volcanic landforms. Okay, this is intensive and extensive. Okay, yeah, like guys, they might not ask you these names, silts and decays. Volcanic landform, there is a molten material, they can vent out from the earth's surface, earth crust. Okay, Hawaii and Yellowstone is the hotspots of the volcanic. Hawaii is still, there is an active volcano. Okay, yeah. They can ask you the previous year UPS question, Deccan traps, Deccan plateaus, or the flood basalt plateau is formed by fissure eruption. fissure eruption. Okay, yeah, yeah. Extrusive, which is lava plateaus, shield volcanoes, composite volcanoes, cinder cones. Okay, yeah. Intrusive mean batholiths, okay, laccoliths and silts and dikes. Okay, they can ask you the name, you have to be like remember, guys. Okay, yeah. The example of this chapter, the Himalayas, Deccan Plateau, Thar deserts and coastal India and karst. These are the different landforms in India. Okay, Himalayas mainly landslides, V-shaped valleys are different landforms. Deccan Plateau is black soil from basalt, Deccan Plateau. Thar desert is sand dunes, okay, depositions. Coastal India, beaches, lagoons. Okay, yeah. Karst mean Amarnath caves, Meghalaya caves. These are the Indian main landforms, guys. Just look into here, most important, okay, for coming exam. Okay. Guys, once you have to look at this, I am going to explain again. Okay, I am going to explain again. Landforms. Landforms. Today chapter is landforms. Okay, landforms mainly they can create by two forces. Mainly first two forces: endogenic forces, exogenic forces. Endogenic mean inside the earth is the reason for the making different landforms. Exogenic forces, there is a atmospheric forces or create some other landforms. Atmospheric mean hydrosphere or biosphere. Okay, these are the exogenic forces created different landforms. Okay, first landform we can call weathering. Okay, weathering is exogenic forces, obviously exogenic forces. Okay, yeah, exogenic forces, weathering, it is the mechanical or chemical or biological disintegration of rock. Without any displacement, that rock created a weathering, mean there is a soil, created soil on the earth surface, that is called weathering. Weathering two types, mechanical or physical weathering or chemical weathering. Mechanical is crystal growth and thermal expansion. Chemical weathering is oxidation, carbonation, hydration, hydrolysis and solution. Okay, yeah. Example they can ask you, karst topography. Okay, that is chemical weathering. Okay, yeah. Guys, next landform, this is all over chemical weathering. Mass wasting mean mass movement mean landslides. This is also one of the landform, created landform, that is landslides rapid and slow. Rapid is a landslide, rockfall, avalanche. Slow is soil creep. That can be triggered, that is actually due to the earthquake, rainfall and deforestation. They did ask previous year question, landslides commonly Himalayas due to steep slopes, of course, heavy rainfall, seismic activity and deforestation. This is important, guys. Okay, this is important. Yeah, erosion landforms by different agents, of course, running water, especially rivers, either youth age or old age, matured age. Okay, yeah, that is previously prelims 2013, oxbow lakes are formed by meandering rivers in floodplains, they can create oxbow lake. Okay, yeah, river valleys. Glacials also one of the reason for making landform. Okay, yeah, wind also one of the reason for making landform, either erosional landform or depositional landform. Okay, yeah, groundwater also created erosional landform and depositional landform. Coastal processes like sea waves, sea current and sea tides also created erosional landform and depositional landforms. Volcanic landforms also created erosion, extensive and intensive landforms, that is like Hawaii is the one of the place, Yellowstone is the one of the place of the volcanic like landforms. If come to the India, it is Deccan Plateau, mostly they can formed by the volcanic activity. Yeah. If come to the India example of landforms, Himalayas are different landforms, Deccan Plateau is different landform, plains are the different landform, desert and coastal areas, okay, are different landforms in India, okay. Yes. Yeah. Quick revision for table. River, glaciers, the reason for the landforms: river, glaciers, wind, waves and groundwater. Erosional landforms, depositional landforms are relevant to the these guys. Most important, they can ask you, by the river they can created erosional valleys and gorges and waterfall. Deposition are floodplains, deltas. Glaciers, okay, erosional landforms and depositional landform. Wind, erosional landform, depositional landform. Waves, that is erosional landform, depositional landform. Groundwater also created erosional landforms and different like depositional landform. They can ask you which one of the following is erosional or depositional landform. They can ask you guys. Okay, just look into this. Okay, yeah. Next, landform based on latitude gradient. Landforms based on latitude gradient. Guys, this is the earth. Earth is mainly different areas, cold areas and very hot areas and very like moderate temperature areas. Temperature are these kind of different features created by the earth which is a distance with the sun rays, either sun rays falling directly or sun rays falling slightly, okay, slanting. Guys, based on that, there is a equatorial and tropical region, latitude, different latitude areas, different landforms, okay. Yeah, of course there is a huge forest areas also there. There is a different deserts, okay. Why deserts are west side of the continent every time they can form? There is no east side continent, there is no deserts. Any continent, there is no desert east side, only west side. Why? And deserts mainly to form tropical area or subtropical area. Deserts mainly form tropical deserts only, okay. Either a cold desert, either a hot deserts. They can made tropical area, deserts form, okay. I'll come to you, okay, later on I'll come to you. Deserts form tropical area, that is west side of the continent, okay. So these are the latitudes. Latitudes are the reason, okay. Now latitudes are described where the like differentiation of landform, especially equatorial and tropical regions. Equatorial and tropical region in the earth, 0 degree latitude to 30 degree latitude, 23 degree north or south, okay. Yeah, of course equatorial or tropical, we are tropical country. Yeah, temperature is hot, mainly equatorial, humid and heavy rainfall took place, okay, that is convectional rainfall, okay. The process is dominant, there is a chemical weathering and leaching and there is a process of the landforms, okay. Landforms are deeply weathered, a laterite soil and laterite plateaus, okay. Yeah, karst topography, there is a limestone due to the chemical weathering, okay. Dense river network, Amazon, okay, like rivers, okay. Amazon, Congo, Ganga, Brahmaputra delta, okay. These are the character of the tropical landform latitudes, tropical latitude landform. Volcanic landforms also there in the tropical equatorial rift valleys in East Africa. Okay. Previous year question UPSC prelims they did ask, laterite soils are formed in tropical humid, okay, regions with alternate wet dry climate. Okay. This is the previous year question guys, previous year UPSC question. Okay. Yes. Yeah, just look into here, latitude gradient is the reason for different landforms. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Just look into here, this is equatorial region, up to here tropical, equatorial and tropical. Okay. Just look into here, it is also up to here equatorial and tropical, south and north. This is north, this is south. Okay. This is equatorial, this is equatorial. Previous year question they did ask the city name, the city's name of equatorial following in either South America, Africa and Asia. Okay. South America, Africa and Asia comes under equatorial. Okay. Yeah. If come to the India, it is the tropical. India is tropical. Tropical mainly India, this is the eastern countries, and Saudi Arabia also touches Africa, Middle Africa, and this is the isthmus place where the Latin America countries, between the South America and North America, there is a Latin America countries fall under there is a tropical countries. Okay. Temperate countries, this is the temperate countries, beautiful area where temperate. Okay. Mainly temperate countries are very beautiful area guys, that is 30 degree to 45 degree latitude, 30 degree to 45 degree latitude. Mainly America, Europe, like Russia like countries are comes under temperate region guys. Okay. Yeah. This is the tropical guys, this is the tropical and equatorial. Tropical and equatorial places, tropical and equatorial places, this is create a different landform. Okay. Create a different landform guys. Okay. By the latitudes also create different landforms. Okay. Yeah, subtropical, subtropical mainly deserts guys, subtropical mainly deserts. Why deserts formed? Why this desert formed in subtropical west side of continent. West side of continent. Okay, this is the question guys, question for you. This is the question for you today. You have to Google it and answer it. Why deserts are formed west side of the continent, especially the latitude is subtropical. Subtropical latitude west side of the continent deserts are formed. Why? What are the role of hot winds and cold winds? We can call not winds, current, hot current and cold current. Okay? Yes, current means the flow of circulation, either it is air, either it is water, either it is electrical charge. Okay? Any energy flow momentum a long time called current. Okay? Yeah. Climate is high temperature, heavy rainfall and arid. Okay? Subtropical is high temperature, very low rainfall and arid region. Arid mean very low mean it is the desert character. High temperature created heavy like low rain created arid region, that is desert. Okay. The process dominant wind erosion, mainly wind erosion. Okay. The landforms created in this area, tropical area, erosional and depositional. Okay. As we discussed, that is rock structure, sand rock structure. Okay. Alluvial plains also they can formed, guys. Okay. Previous year SSC question they did ask, less soil is formed by, sorry, low soil is formed by wind deposition in deserts and semi-arid regions. Wind deposits are in the desert. Okay. Created a like soil. Okay. That is lowest soil. Previous year question, guys. Okay. Most important topic, guys, this is the most important topic in the geography. Why landforms are formed? Okay. Different regions, different latitude gradients, the landforms are different. Okay. Yeah, subtropical area, this is subtropical area. This is subtropical area worldwide. India, some part is comes under subtropical area. Okay, north and south. This is north, this is south of the like, okay, tropical. This is subtropical area. India, mainly North India comes under subtropical area. China subtropical area. North African countries subtropical area. Middle Asia countries are subtropical area. This is the America is subtropical area. Okay, mainly after Mexico, America is subtropical area, and Australia, Middle Australia subtropical, South Africa subtropical, and South America there is a Argentina and Chile comes under subtropical area. Okay. Yeah, this is subtropical area. If come to the India, this is a desert, Thar desert. Got it? If come to the Middle Asia, mostly all countries desert. Mostly all countries desert. If come to the Africa, this is Sahara desert. Just look into here. This is actually Gobi desert, China Gobi desert, Thar desert, India Thar desert, Gobi desert China, India Thar desert, This is the all over Middle Asia countries, Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Iran. Okay, these are all like Middle Asia, Asian desert. Mainly the export of the fossil fuels is coming from this desert. Mean this is the Asia continent west side. If come to the Africa west side, there is a main desert is Sahara desert. Okay. This is America, the west side here a desert, Atacama desert. This is South America, this side a desert, cold desert, Patagonia desert. Guys, there is a question, which one of the following is hot desert or cold desert? Okay, hot deserts are what, cold deserts are what? Okay, guys, I am going to take here, this is Australian desert, okay, Australian desert. Okay, yeah, guys, just look into here, Gobi desert is a cold desert, Thar desert is the hot desert. This is Middle East Asia deserts is hot desert. Sahara is hot desert. Australia is cold desert. Okay, Patagonia is cold desert. America Atacama desert is cold desert. Hot deserts and cold deserts, guys. Okay, they can ask you, there is a current mechanism, air current mechanism, El Nino, La Nina current effect created a hot warm and a cold air, created a circle. Here the west side continent of the tropical area created a desert formation. Okay, this is huge subject, guys. If come to the geography, I am going to explain one day. Okay, yep. Yeah, temperate region which is 30 to 50 latitude gradients, 30 to 50 degree latitudes, 30 to 50 degree is temperate region. Okay, yeah, temperate region, it is the moderate rainfall and seasonal. Actually it is a beautiful area, all beautiful areas, cities are here only, all beautiful cities are here only, temperate region, guys. Okay, yes, temperate regions mainly there is a process of dominant like Freech mountains, very cool area, landforms mainly, river valleys also there, meanders, oxbow lakes also there. Because of glacial they melt and form a river. Okay, that is temperate mountains, that is temperate mountains, Alps and Rockies. This is important, For example, guys, Alps and Rockies, which one of the following is temperate mountain? Himalayas are subtropical mountains. Temperate region, especially Europe, America and Australia regions are temperate regions, beautiful regions. Okay, these are the mountains are mainly temperate mountains are Alps and Rockies. Okay, yeah, mainly melt the limestone. Okay, they can form. If come to the India, Meghalaya of course subtropical, thoda temperate. Okay, yeah, previous year UPSC question, U-shaped valleys are more common in, V-shaped valleys are subtropical, U-shaped valleys are temperate region. Mostly people think the subtropical are like tropical are formed valleys, mean tropical rivers they can create valleys, of course V-shaped valleys, but U-shaped valleys created by temperate region valleys. Okay, yeah, temperate mountains created mean the melting of ice water created a valley, U-shaped valleys. Okay, yeah, they can ask you this type of questions, guys. Okay, yeah, guys, just look into here. I am going to segregate a latitude gradient of landforms. Okay, yeah, this is equatorial, this is equatorial. Okay, equatorial. So equatorial and this is subtropical, this is subtropical, subtropical north and subtropical south, tropical and subtropical, sorry, tropical and subtropical, north and south. Okay, tropical and subtropical, I am going to create here subtropical north and subtropical south, okay, and temperate, the beautiful area temperate, this is the temperate sorry, this color is not, yeah, this is temperate, the green wala temperate, last finally polar, this is polar, okay, polar region. These are the places. Black wala equatorial, this is equatorial, okay, this is tropical, the area between, okay, above and below the equatorial is tropical. This red is subtropical and pink is, that is beautiful temperate region, and this is polar region. Okay, green, this is the green area, total green area we can call orchid zone. Orchid zone is the beautiful temperate zone, mainly Europe fall under this, Switzerland, Spain, Italy, France, Germany, these areas, some Russia, okay, part of Russia, okay, Ukraine, these part like in America, okay, these parts are the temperate zone. There is a moderate rainfall, like actually there is no like calamities huge, there is no deserts also not there in temperate region, okay. So it is the beautiful towns and cities in the world, guys, okay. Yeah, subpolar or high latitude areas, this is extreme conditions of high latitudes, extreme condition, extreme weather, extreme cold, guys, okay. That is also different, created different landforms, especially cold summers, okay, short summers and long winters, If you want to go polar region, go in the summer. That is mainly glacial erosion, okay. This process created a U-shaped valleys, cirques and Jodes, horns and aretes, okay. Depositional is moraines and drums and cames. Previous year question UPSC, Jodes are formed in which place? Norway, Alaska, Chile, glaciated coasts of high latitude areas, okay. The Jodes are formed high latitude areas where Norway, Alaska, Chile, guys, just look into here, where Norway, where here, Alaska, here, where here, high latitude areas, guys, this is the Norway, Sweden, Finland, the pink wala, Norway, Sweden, Finland, okay. Chile is this pink wala here, south side, Alaska is here, Alaska. This created U-shaped valleys, high latitude areas, okay, yes. And polar region, this mostly polar region is 70 to 90, very cold, ice covered and minimal rainfall. Polar deserts also created here, okay, ice caps, high sheets, okay, especially Greenland, Antarctica. This is Greenland, this is Antarctica, mainly high latitude 70 to 90 degrees centigrade, okay. Yeah, summary table about latitudes, landforms, this is important, guys, just look into here, equatorial, which is equatorial and tropical, which is 23.5, 0 to 23.5, that is climate is hot and humid, okay. Chemical weathering is there, especially rivers and major landforms, laterites, crust and caves and deltas, okay. Subtropical landforms, which is 20 to 30 degrees hot and arid subtropical deserts, mainly deserts. Wind erosion, deserts mean wind erosion, and they can create erosion and deposition by wind. Here rivers, tropical create the tropical, there is a topography like landforms created rivers in the tropical area. Subtropical area, wind created landforms, either erosion or deposition, that is dunes, loess. Temperate region, this is moderate, rivers can action, the valleys, meanders they can create. Subpolar, glaciers, subpolar, the glaciers are the region for fjords and moraines, okay, and polar is ice sheets. Guys, just look into here. Tropical and equatorial region, rivers created landforms. Subtropical, there is a wind created landform. Subtropical, wind where deserts mainly, okay. Temperate, there is a river created landforms. Subpolar, or there is a actually avalanches, this kind of subpolars created mainly glaciers, and polar also glaciers sheets. These are the reasons to create a different landforms in the different latitude areas, okay. We are going to discuss some questions relevant to this topic, guys, most important. Just look into here. Previous year questions, PYQs. UPSC prelims 2013. Oxbow lakes are formed by rivers meandering in floodplains. This is the answer. Rivers meandering in floodplains, okay. Oxbow lakes created by. Next, UPSC prelims 2014. Tombolo is the sandbar, okay, connecting two headlands, the lagoon enclosed by a barrier, a spit connecting an island with mainland. This is the answer. Island with mainland, we can call isthmus. We can call it as isthmus. A spit connecting is island with mainland, okay, isthmus. This is the answer, UPSC 2014. UPSC 2018. Which one of the following is responsible for the exfoliation domes? Volcanic eruptions, diastrophic forces, temperature changes, and chemical weathering. Which one? Chemical weathering, okay, chemical weathering, that is one. UPSC 2016. Fjords are formed by rivers in deserts, submerged of glacial valleys, volcanic eruptions, and wind deflection. Of course, Jordan is formed for glacial valleys, where just we discussed there is a Scandinavian countries, Norway, Sweden, Finland area. Glacial melt and they can submergence of glacial valleys. UPSC prelims 2020. Loess soils are formed by glaciers till wind deposition, river deposition, lava flow. Loess soil, okay, by wind deposition in the deserts, wind deposition in the deserts, okay. Yes. SSC CGL question. U-shaped valleys are formed by glaciers. Rivers formed V-shaped, okay. Yeah. Wind formed mushroom rocks, okay. Groundwater, the crates, okay. Yeah. Guys, they can ask you any form question. CDS 2016, okay. Drumlin is the feature formed by wind deposition, glacial deposition, river erosion, and coastal deposition, drumlin. This is question for you guys. You have to go through that slides again, you have to find it. SSC CGL 2015, the world largest delta is. This is also, you can go through this. This is the most important. I told you in the river, that is Sundarban Delta, created by which river? Ganga Brahmaputra, not Amazon. The karst topography developed mainly which type of rocks? Granite, basalt and limestone and shale. Granite or basalt? Limestone. Limestone rock. Okay, I told you. Laterite soils in India are mostly found in Rajasthan, Meghalaya, Western Ghats, Indo-Gangetic. Heavy rain, where heavy rain? Heavy rains and mountain areas. Mountain areas. These areas created a laterite soil. These heavy rain and mountain areas created a laterite soil, where Rajasthan deserts, no rainfall, and Meghalaya, Western Ghats are the hilly areas, heavy rainfall that can be created, laterite soil. Okay, yes. 1 minute guys. Yeah, Pulicat Lake, Andhra Pradesh is example of. This is the question guys. This is the question, most important question they did ask previously. Pulicat Lake, lagoon, delta, Ichuri or Tambolo. Pulicat Lake in Andhra Pradesh, lagoon. Go through that net and answer it. This is important, very, very, very important, either delta or lagoon. Ichuri forms west side. Ichuri formed west side of the country. It is east side. This is erosion, land erosion, either east. This is also land erosion. Okay. So lagoon is the example of erosion or delta form east side. Just go through that. Quick observation, equatorial tropical region, they can create a laterite crust and delta. Subtropical deserts or losses, dunes and features are created. Temperate regions, karst, fluvial and glacial, U-shaped valleys and drumlins. Subpolar and polar, they can create fjords and moraines and ice features. Coastal areas, lagoon. Of course, that is Andhra Pradesh. There is a lake is coastal area, lagoon. Okay, spit, Tambola, deltas. Guys, I hope you guys understand this topic is well. They can ask you the question from this topic. This is the most important topic and critical topic in the geography. Just you can go through that, the names, especially examples. Examples most important if come to this chapter. Okay, I hope you guys understand. Thank you so much. If you like the video, like it and share it. Okay, yes.